Hello everybody and welcome to That's Football. Who should be Manchester United's next manager? You know what, it's good to be back on That's Football. I know we'll have some United fans on here, but we get a lot of non-United fans on here, and I'm very interested to see what you think about the Manchester United situation. I'm sure you all want us to keep Ole Gunnar Solskjaer because you want us to keep failing, but reality is, who do you think would be a good fit for Manchester United if Solskjaer was sacked? We're going to be talking about that, but first of all, as you can see, the show is sponsored by OneFootball again. The football's in full swing. There's loads of news going on, and OneFootball here is to make sure you're kept up with all the latest football news, transfer news and stats and everything like that. I'm sure you guys have heard me talk about OneFootball lots of times before, so you know it's the best place around to get all your live scores, football transfer news, like I said, and up-to-date content surrounding your favourite clubs and leagues. I use it almost every day to get the latest football news, and I have been for quite a while. So what are you waiting for? Head over to the link in the description and download it for free using the link in the video description below. Right, now let's move on with the show, and a big shout out to That's Football as per usual. As I say, with the way things are going at the moment, there's lots and lots of news to be read around Manchester United, which is what I want to sort of get into in relation to Manchester United's next manager. Look, at the end of the day, we are still in a situation where Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is in the job 2 days after losing 5-0 to Liverpool at home. The standards of Manchester United have been on the floor for a long time under the Glazers, but they've never been so low. I said it on Sunday, I'll say it again. The standards are not in the cellar. We're digging a hole to Australia. We're saying hello to Kylie and Jason. The standards are so low at Manchester United. It's ridiculous. And a lot of this comes down to the ownership of the club, and I think big clubs like Chelsea and Man City, and I say big clubs in relation to football clubs. Manchester United are a bigger club than them, but we're not acting like a football club. We're acting like Southampton, with all due respect. I mean, a Southampton manager might be able to survive losing 5-0 at home to Liverpool. Probably wouldn't. I mean, how low do you have to go before a club would put up with 1 point from 12 and being hammered and 4-0 down at home to Liverpool? I think most clubs in the Premier League would sack their manager, but Man United go, it's fine, carry on, we believe in you, let's go. And the best thing is, Antonio Conte is basically begging for the job, and United are going, no, I don't quite fancy that, we'll stick with Ollie. I mean, it really is like Margot Robbie knocking on your door with a plate of lasagna and saying, do you want to go out with a meal for me? And United going, nah, I'll stay at home and have a pot noodle and a well, if you've watched The Office, you'll know what I mean. Pot noodle and a rhymes with bank, replace B with a W. But it is like that. United, you know, you might not like lasagna and Margot Robbie might not be your cup of tea, but it's still better than a pot noodle and a you know what. So I just find it amazing that some United fans, but certainly our board, are sat there going, don't think Conte's the right man. You know why Conte's not the right man for United? They're lying about style of play. When have they ever given a toss about United's style of play? Style of play under Van Gaal was terrible, Moyes terrible, Mourinho terrible, Ole terrible, and suddenly style of play and developing youth matters. We're not bringing youth through now. Mason Greenwood's a generational talent. He's an easy player to use. Where's Hannibal? Where's Alanga? You know, we're not even picking Lingard. So where's this development of youth anyway? The reason they don't want Conte, and nobody should swallow this nonsense about style of play, because we haven't had a style of play for ages, or long-termism. The only long-termism we've got is not winning titles. The reason they don't want Conte is because he's a strong manager who would come in and say, I want my people around and I want this to happen, and United are terrified of that. They don't want a manager that's not a little lapdog that gets on a puppet on a strings and starts dancing to the Glazers' tune. That's why they don't want Conte. But let's look at the managers. Who would you go for? For me, Conte is obviously the favourite at the moment. I mean, look, there's a few I want to talk about. In relation to Conte, look, honestly, I'm not going to be a hypocrite here. I'm not convinced about Conte because I don't like the back five. I don't think United are the sort of club that should play with a back five. Now, if he can come to United and sort of do the 4-3-3 or something like that, which he has done before, then maybe that works. But I don't like a back five, and I just think we're not set up to play a back five. I think it could be quite successful. It's not really what I want United to do, and you know, there's so many wide forwards that we've got that would become redundant under that system. But without a shadow of a doubt, I'll just put this on the line here. Solskjaer should be sacked. Solskjaer should be sacked, and therefore, if you're asking me whether I want Conte or Solskjaer, I want Conte. So that should be the bottom line with United. I don't know why they're making decisions about, I don't know whether he's better than Ole. You know, my postman's better than Ole. At least he delivers. But no, I think that, I could have said at least he delivers me 3 points when I get a speeding fine, but I don't do that. That's illegal. It's illegal what Ole's doing with United. But yeah, so I would take Conte over Ole. Other options, Zidane. We're hearing that Zidane has been spoken to. We're also hearing he doesn't want the job. And this is coming from French sources. I would take Zidane for the same reason I'd probably take Conte. Well, I would take Conte over Oli, but I would take Zidane. He's a proven winner. I've heard people saying, I can't, some people's opinion. Look, football's all about opinion. That's what it's all about. I come out with bad opinions all the time. But I've heard people saying that Zidane's just the French Oli. He doesn't take the coaching. I'm not. He's won 3 Champions Leagues in a row. He's one of the greatest players that's played the game in the last 30 years. And he's a French Oli. Come on. Wash your mouth out. What are you talking about? And also, maybe just because you don't take the coaching, it doesn't matter if you've got a good coaching team. What people don't remember about Oli is that, yes, he's not a very good coach, but his coaches aren't very good either. If Oli had a good set of coaches behind him, we'd be in a different situation. So I would take Zidane. I think he's a proven winner. I think he's a man that demands respect. And also, I think he'd come into this football club and we wouldn't have any nonsense from ex-players, calling him out like he's his mate and doing vlogs and shit like that and wanting photos on the touchline. Zidane, they'd get in line like the fans. They'd respect him and they wouldn't be like, talking about him like he's a bloody mate and he's got him on the WhatsApp. I want some respect. I want some closure at United. I want some professionalism where it's not accessible to ex-players and bloody anybody else who's a mate. I want it. I want professionalism. So I would like Zidane. I think Pochettino needs to get thrown into the equation because that PSG, for me, I've always said about Man United and Pochettino, it's like two ships passing in the night. They never dock in the same harbour. And I think with Pochettino, again, here's an opportunity that if he was free, he could take the job. But every time the job comes up, he seems to be in a role. So, look, there's talk that PSG might move Pochettino on any time and therefore Zidane could go to PSG and Pochettino could come to United. But look, football's all about timing. Look at Marcus Rashford's career. He would probably not have made it at United when he did. Well, he wouldn't have done. Martial was injured. I think Zlatan was injured at the time. No, it wouldn't have been Zlatan because it was under Van Gaal. Anyway, we had loads of injuries and Will Keane was going to play up front. He got injured just before the game. We had no one else. We played Rashford and the rest is history. It's all about timing. So, you can't wait for Pochettino when we've got games where we can win. We're Manchester United. We can't go, oh, it's only Spurs and City. Let's lose them both. We need to win. And if you wait for Pochettino, what if Oli wins the next 2 games and people start going, he's changed? He hasn't changed. He's been on runs before. He shouldn't be given another opportunity. So for me, unless Pochettino is going to walk out of PSG to come to Manchester United, which isn't going to happen, I think Pochettino needs to be parked. If United, we're Manchester United, we can't be planning for if, buts and maybes. Get rid of the manager and make a bloody decision, which is, again, the problem with Ten Hag. I think Ten Hag at Ajax is a very interesting one. But Manchester United would be... we're not Chelsea. I think Chelsea can go and get a manager out of a club in the middle of the season, and probably Man City can, but not Manchester United. We're poor at transfers, let alone trying to get a manager out of a club in a couple of days. So Ten Hag's interesting. I'd be more than open to it. I think his style of football is great, but Man United, I don't think Man United would take that risk if he was available. United are not going to look at risks here. They're going to go for... the manager Man United want is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He protects them, he's easy to manipulate, and he's a yes man. That's what they want. No manager is out there. That is why they're saying, there's not really anyone available. They just want to continue down this road of inadequacy and incompetence where they can keep making money and control what's going on the pitch. And which is why, for me, it should always be Glazers out before any manager's out. But obviously, Ollie needs to go. Beyond that, look, if you want something a little bit left field, because I've given you 4, Conte, Zidane, Pochettino, Ten Hag. If you want something left field, Laurent Blanc, he has played for United, but not in the way that he'd be an ex-player gang, sort of like that. He did a very good job at Bordeaux. I know he sort of fell off a little bit, but I think it'd be an interesting, if you were looking short term, I don't know why a short-term manager or an interim has to be an ex-player. Why can't it just be somebody that, has got a bit of pedigree that can come in and do a job that has the potential to be your full-time manager, but you're not offering them anything? I think that nobody's going to trust an interim at United anyway, so there's no pressure on an interim. Come in, do a job, and then await the right manager to come in. But the worst thing United are doing at the moment is they're almost keeping Ollie as an interim again. That's how I read this. He's like an interim manager again. He came in as an interim after Mourinho, he did quite well. We gave him a job. He's messed up, basically. And now, instead of sacking him, we're almost giving him an interim job again. It's like a shit sandwich. Interim, manager, interim again. Because he shouldn't be in role. He shouldn't be there. We're being laughed at. He shouldn't be in the job. But he's almost become an interim manager again, where it's like, well, we'll keep him until we know what we need. But that's rewarding failure. That's not what a big club does. So, look, Conte's the one they can get tomorrow. I don't really care if Conte comes in over Ollie. I don't really care if Conte comes in and doesn't do that well. Just sack him. You know, I'm not bothered about short-termism or long-termism. I just want to change at United because it needs to happen. So I would take Conte. Zidane would still be my number one. Pochettino, look a little bit like Conte with Pochettino. I've never really been on the hype, but I'd definitely take him over Ollie. So I think Pochettino is very difficult and it's not going to happen. Same with Ten Hag. And Laurent Blanc, look, I think he's managing over in Qatar or something like that. I'm sure something could be done there. But the reality is they've missed the boat here. This needed to happen super fast. It's happening super slow. The communication from the club is abysmal again. Manchester United's ownership is the big problem at Manchester United, and it always has been. And again, you know, we thought losing to Liverpool on Sunday was embarrassing, but the way the club have handled this afterwards has compounded that embarrassment. And look, you know, get your comments in, what you'd go for. Make sure you smash a like on the video and subscribe. For me, what I would go for is, first of all, sack the manager, get rid of the coaching staff, and start again. But do it soon and do it fast, because delaying the inevitable is, like I said this morning on the United stand, we're polishing a turd here. We're spraying a turd trying to clean it up, and it won't work. It won't work. And Margot Robbie's at the door with a lasagna. So let's go. Thanks everyone for watching. Smash a like on the video. Make sure you subscribe. And make sure you download the OneFootball app. It's free to do. You can get all your latest news on there. I'll speak to you all in a bit. It's good to be back on here. I hope you've enjoyed it. And lots more content to come this week.